Hello there, I'm Scotty. You're not. Welcome back to the Smallville Retrospective. We're on season 2, episode 15, Prodigal. Which sees the debut and final appearance of Lucas Dunleavy Luthor. I don't know what to call him. They should call him Lucas Luthor. He's on Wikipedia and stuff as Lucas Luthor, but I don't know. Wouldn't be Lucas Dunleavy? Wouldn't that be the name he's going by? I don't know. But this was a child mentioned at the beginning, or not, of the season, and in the episode lineage, she's mentioned by his mother, Rachel Dunleavy, who's now in the psych ward. And so Lucas shows up in Smallville because Lex needs him to help form a coup. I'm very confused on the continuity of this episode because this coup that Lex just staged, I was like, wait, is that what he was talking about in Suspect? But then Lucas isn't mentioned in Suspect, and this is the episode where we find out that Lionel was faking being blind, and Lionel's still blind in Suspect. But when this episode begins, Clark and Lana are talking to each other as if nothing has happened. I don't know. And according to IMDb, there's a scene where they show the rose in the garbage can, but I didn't see it again unless I missed it. He and Chloe are also fine. Pete is not here. He is here. There's a basketball scene. That's what they use him for. I don't know. This episode was weird. You have Paul Wesley here of the Vampire Diaries playing under the name Paul Weseleski. I was like, what? That's not what is that his name? Apparently that's his birth name. He just goes by Wesley now, I guess. This was one of his first acting roles, I guess, and he went by that name. I don't know. But we meet Lucas Luthor, or Lucas, and he's memorable for the one episode that he's in ever. Because after this, say it with me now, we never see him again. Lex says he's going to protect him, and then we never see him again. So, I don't know. It's very confusing. It is. Confusing. It is. So Lex has brought Lucas in to help him stage a coup, but then Lucas turns on him and Lionel kicks him out of the mansion. So Lex goes to live with the Kents. And I love how when he asks, everyone looks at Jonathan like he's of course got to be the one to make the decision, and it's like, yeah. And so now he makes him do every chore. Every, like disgusting chore that Jonathan can think of, he makes him do it, which is funny. We don't get any montage of him being hurt or anything. So I just want to say this for the obvious. So Lucas knows about Clark's secret, right? Obviously, because at one point during the basketball game, he gets pissed that Clark is beating him, so he punches him and he hurt his fist. So, first of all, Clark kind of uses his abilities to play basketball. And then when he hits him, Clark should have pretended to get hit. Instead, he just takes it and is like, Lucas like hurt his hand or whatever. And that's when he's like, hey, can you give me a ride back to the mansion to Pete and then take off? I want to know what conversations they were having in that car. I'm pretty sure Lucas was asking him questions that Pete couldn't answer, you know what I'm saying? Let me say. So Lex is kicked out of the mansion onto the farm, and Chloe does some digging and said it was very easy to find that he was there through Metropolis United Charities, which he found very quickly, and so they assumed that Lionel purposely put it out there so it's easy for him to find. Lucas is the first one to find out that Lionel is faking being blind. I do like, though, that he still pretends like he walks in right into a TV. As if, we are... because, if you see this before, you know that, you're confused on when he gets his eyesight back, but by this episode, he's got it back. So to just see him walk into a TV, which, by the way, Lucas has the most impractical setup ever. So he's got, let's say this is the entranceway to the, let's do it this way. This is the entranceway to Lex's room in the mansion, right? He's got a couch set up right here like where I'm sitting. He's got a TV here, and this is the big entry door, right? The big entry door to be. So I'm going to demonstrate with this. No, I just demonstrate with my chair, all right? So Lucas is on the couch playing the video games, right? TV is right here, basically the entryway to Lex's office, right? So Lionel comes in. Lucas hits the TV. So at some point, he consciously had to say, okay, I'm blind, so I'm just going to walk right into the TV. So, I don't know. It's such an impractical set, though. It's like, why would you do that? It's so impractical. I mean, I'm not one to speak. I had a setup where I had my couch. This is my living room setup right here. But I had my couch going down this way and my TV over there in the corner. And so I'd have to walk all the way around to here to go sit down over here. Is what I had to do. But I liked it until Big OT complained that he couldn't see the TV from sitting over here playing the video games. But I only have one TV now, so I could just switch that back if I wanted to. But no, come on. Go away. All right. But, it's just so impractical. It's so impractical. But he comes in, and he's telling them to sign this thing. So he has this paper. He's like, you need to sign it. And so I think I wrote it wrong. I did. Hold on. All right. He writes this instead of signing his signature. And you can tell from Lionel's reaction, he could see it. And, apparently he fixed up mouse out too earlier, but Lucas notices this. He grabs the 8-ball and goes to throw it at him, and he ducks. So obviously he's not going to fake being blind all the time. So what are you doing? You could take my head off. We both know you saw that coming. By the way, you got to pay for a new window. But, yeah, and apparently he figured it out because when he poured himself a glass of alcohol, when you're blind, you're supposed to put your finger in there to feel when the glass is almost full. He didn't because he could tell when it was full. That's how I figured it out. But so yeah. But so Lucas becomes incorrigible. Oh, there's the B plot, by the way. Clark gets a job at the Talon working under Lana, which is still confusing. I don't understand. They shouldn't be talking to each other. They should not be talking to each other. They are. And I don't understand it. And it's confusing. I don't know. It's back to being friends, I guess. And, so, Lucas shows up and he's like, well, I'm in charge now and I want you to fire Clark. He was a half an hour late. He's like, I'm not firing Clark. He's like, okay, then you're fired. No, Lex and I signed an agreement. You can't do that. He's like, well, I just have to get rid of the whole place then. He's become angry and he goes to leave. Clark goes after him to talk to him, and a Japanese man from Edge City. So it's really confusing because he's like, well, they were in Edge City at the beginning of the episode. Very clearly they were in Japan or a Chinatown variant or something. But no, it was Edge City at the beginning of the episode where it's sort of like a James Bond movie. And as I'm watching this at the beginning, I'm going to say this. When he's fighting these Asian guys, I'm thinking, how cool would it be if Paul Wesley were to play, if this was actually a backdoor pilot and Paul Wesley was playing a younger version of Bruce Wayne for a Gotham-based TV show? He could do it. He could do it. Like, and instead of it being Lucas, Lex pulls up and is like, Bruce Wayne, I presume. Here, let me help you. And he gets him out of there. What's your name? Wayne. Bruce Wayne. I don't know. It would be interesting. I could see Paul Wesley being a good Bruce Wayne. Too bad they waste him in this one episode and he never comes back again. And then he goes on to be in the Vampire Diaries. I can speak freaking English. Vampire Diaries. I think Paul Wesley would have been a good Bruce Wayne for a young Batman story. It would have worked. I don't know about a Batman suit, but if they went with the same mentality of no fights, no tights, or no flights, no tights, but no suit, then it would work. They could have done something. I don't know. But everybody wanted the Green Arrow spin-off, which they got Arrow instead, but a Batman spin-off would have been obvious. But then again, this is around the same time. This was 2002. I think we're close. 2003 now, I think, by this point. And Batman Begins was 2 years from here. So, and that's why Batman's never got an actual TV show. Everything else is either Batman as a kid, which is the closest we're ever going to get to something like Smallville is Gotham. And I remember seeing that and thinking, finally, we're going to get something. But no, we're following Jim Gordon as the main character. I'm like, well, that show wasn't bad. I just was like, why can't we just have a Smallville type show with Bruce Wayne instead? Because Bruce Wayne can't be the actual main character. It can't be a Batman because of the movies. But you got Superman and Lois going on, and Superman is in the movies. I don't know. But, yeah, I don't know. But, yeah. Anyway. So, Clark is at work when he finds out that, well, what's going on. Chloe comes to him and tells him then about what happened, and that the guy who had, I forgot to mention this part. One of the Japanese guy from the beginning of the episode attacks Lucas, and Clark uses his powers to save him. And again, I'm thinking, Lucas obviously saw something. But didn't ever go back to this character baffles me. Especially, and I know you're going to call me out on this, but I think I'm right. So, Lex Luthor leaves the series at the end of Season 7, which would be 2008. By the time Season 8 starts, it's the beginning of 2008. Vampire Diaries wasn't a thing yet. If they were to bring Lucas back to take Lex's place, I think it would have worked. Now, he could have been filming the pilot for Vampire Diaries at this point. They could have been filming the series at this point, sure. But, I don't know. Did him be the Lex replacement? Everybody would automatically say, he's a discount Lex Luthor for sure, but it would work. I don't know. But, yeah. So, thinking that Lex is behind it, he attacks Lex. Well, he knocks out Jonathan and then attacks Lex. So, I wonder if there's like a deleted scene, because Clark finds out about this and immediately goes to the mansion. Like maybe to confront Lucas. We want to go back to the farm. I don't know. We're going to get to, there's a plot hole here of some sort. So, Lex is kidnapped. He's strapped to a chair in Lionel Luthor's office at Luthor Corp. And Lionel walks in, and Clark is also there, and he is hiding in the air duct like he's Spider-Man, right? And I'm sorry, Clark didn't need to be involved. He doesn't do anything. He overhears Lionel talk about where he's going. He goes there, and then he overhears them talking. He doesn't burst in to help. Instead, because they wanted this scene to play out the way it did, so they have Clark hide in the thing in the air vent. The only thing he does is burn the gun or his hand, whatever, Lucas's hand or the gun or something. But it turns out it's blanks. Going back a little bit though, he has the gun, and Lionel says, "Put the gun down, son." And Lex is like, "How'd you know I got a gun, Dad?" "You son of a bitch. You lying son of a bitch." You sick son of a bitch, what it was. And it turns out that there are blanks. But he wants, so here's the thing. Lucas wants Lionel to shoot Lex and has him have the gun right like this against his head. So it's revealed later that they're blanks. But at this range, a blank could kill you. Like that, at this short of a distance, like this, a blank could kill you. It could kill you this close. But, TV show, right? Here's my issue. So Lex shows up and he thanks them for keeping him there and he get the rest of his stuff. And Clark's like, "Oh, my mom told you to come to get the rest of the stuff." And I'm like, "No, you need to, sure, Clark can't tip his hand, right? But this has all been news, everything's going on. So it should be public knowledge that Lionel Luthor is now not blind and that the whole Lucas Luthor thing went a certain way, although they probably not publicized. So maybe he can't say anything, but if everything was a setup by Lex. So Lex used Clark's family. But Clark can't say anything because Lex can't know he's there. Which is why he should have been outside the door watching and then burst in at the end. Then he could confront him. Well, I was there. I don't know. And then Lex and Lionel have a conversation, and he asked Lionel how long he's had his sight back. He said a few weeks, and he said, "It's amazing what people will do when they in front of you when they think you're blind." So I'm thinking this goes as far back as Insurgents. I'm thinking that line makes me think Insurgents, which would indicate he knows Martha has the key, which doesn't really make sense. But then again, there was so much going on, she put it in her pocket. Nobody saw what happened to it, so maybe he doesn't. But process elimination, if he had those criminals checked, they don't have it. Obviously, she has it somewhere. Also, I don't think they found it. But, because in the episode Suspect, they had a warrant to search the premises. I don't remember if they took the key. I don't think so. But yeah, this episode is getting a 3 out of 5 stars for me. I thought it was better than this, but it's another big one. We never see Lucas again after this, so it's like my Blu-ray's turning off. So it's like doesn't really lead to anything either, and it feels like continuity is dropped. It's very weird. I don't know. But so what are your thoughts on this episode? Let me comment, share, like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching. I've been Scotty, and I'll see you in the next one.